My name is Chelsea Norman. I live in Wanaka. I am Amanda's big sister, who the story is ultimately about, who passed away. Our last conversation was, okay, love you, sis, good night. And then it was about almost exactly 12 hours later, I received a text from Amanda's friend Dean, who was with her at the time, to call him immediately, and which I did. And I could hear the absolute panic in his voice, and I knew something was very wrong with my little sister. So I immediately drove to her house, and when I arrived at Amanda's house, there was a couple of ambulances outside, a couple of police cars, also a fire engine. And I thought to myself, something's very wrong here. Obviously, I didn't realize at the time Amanda was in cardiac arrest in her bedroom, and I just assumed I'd be able to go in there, and waited in the kitchen and just in quite spirits that someone would come out to me that she was stable and I could go and see my sister. Instead, the opposite happened, and a paramedic came out to me and apologised and said we did everything we could. And obviously I was just in a world of shock, had no idea what had happened. So that was the morning of her passing. The rest of the day, obviously, unravelled. The police were there. I got questioned. And one of the questions the police officer asked me was your sister vaccinated? Which I didn't really think too much about at the time. It all happened very quickly. Still, in my mind, not knowing the magnitude of what had actually just happened. Firstly, Amanda was dead against getting the vaccine. She did not want it. She didn't know it was in it. She wasn't educated about, there was just a whole lot of speculation about the vaccine. She didn't let her children get it for that reason, Ben and Sophie. She then had to succumb because she needed to keep working. She needed a job. She was a solo mum. She needed to pay her bills, and the only way she could keep a job or get a job was to be, from the government mandates, was to be vaccinated. So it was December of 2021 that she had her first jab, end of December. Had her first jab, and immediately she had side effects, heart racing, a very painful, the arm that she had her vaccine, very, very sore, and just a general feeling unwell. But then obviously she had to get the next one so she could get back into the workforce and support her children and pay her rent, pay for food. And she did. And then that was in January. And then 17 days later, on the 4th of February, she died suddenly from cardiac arrest. I was the one doing all the chasing with the coroner just to get some results from Amanda's pathology, because I received Amanda's pathology results September 2022. Which is not anything I'd wish upon any sibling to have to deal with. Through that, I then contacted the coroner at the time, the office, and just basically wanted what was in the pathology report to be documented on her death certificate. And I just kept getting fobbed off, I suppose. That's how I felt. I was doing all the chasing. I was asking all the questions. And just getting nowhere with the coroner's office at all. And then it was December 18th, 2024. So this was 5 days before Christmas, a couple of months before Amanda's 3rd year anniversary that she had passed. Received an email from Coroner Steele's office informing us of the next steps into Amanda's cause of death. The coroner's office stated that a formal inquiry will not be opened, and this is because Amanda's death appears to be of natural causes. So you can imagine I was just absolutely kicked in the guts, thinking this is almost 3 years later. They're now going to tell me and my family that it was down to natural causes, when we already had all the pathology results. We had what had been stated. So made contact with the coroner's office, and then lo and behold, on the 8th of January 2025, I received an apology from the coroner's court. And on the 13th of January, I received a response from Coroner Steele's office stating the final findings and the exact cause of Amanda's death. Just so we know that Amanda's cause of death was myocarditis as a direct result of the Pfizer vaccine. Sorry, I didn't say that. So that's what we have documented on her death certificate, which I finally received on the 20th of March 2025, 3 years after her death. I guess long term is that Amanda's children, Ben and Sophie, don't have their mum here. And they have to navigate life as we all do without their mum. And Amanda was the best mum, the most caring mum, the most kind mum, the most giving mum. And so long term, it's those kids that don't get to have their mum a part of their lives, that they've gone through their teenage years without her. She can't be an auntie to my children who are like her children. My brothers and sisters don't get to have their sister at events. That is the long-term effect. Like, I don't care about too much other stuff. It's just the loss, the missing out, the sadness, and I guess that's the long term. And financially, they don't have a mum to support them. Financially, when they get into, you know, student loans and just all the basic stuff of growing up, I guess. So yeah, that's, I guess, the long term is that we don't have our sister. They don't have their mum. My kids don't have their auntie. And my parents don't have their daughter. Something must be done so this never happens again. Nothing will bring our sister back, our mum, our daughter, our auntie, or our cousin. She will never be brought back. And the fact that her children, Ben and Sophie, don't get to have their mum here when she should be here, 100%. And this is all because she was told, we were all told that it was safe. And just no one has been held responsible. There's been no compassion or human decency given to our family, let alone the thousands of families that haven't been recognised. And yeah, I just want to thank you for taking the time to hear our story. And just want my little sister to rest in peace.